Alhamdulillah, all the praises to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator and the sustainer of all things. I bear witness there is a God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala admonished us in the Quran to prepare for the hereafter, to have taqwa in our lives, because taqwa is what benefits the believer when they return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever we do in this world, we should do it for the sake of Allah and observe taqwa of Allah, in order for it to count for us for the day of judgment. And as we go through the season of graduations from schools, elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, colleges, and universities, as well as our own programs of health programs and college programs and ladies' health program. It is important for us to pause at the conclusion of another school year and think what is ahead. So Allah says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله واتقوا نفس ما قدمت لغد. أو يبتغين التقوى الله reverence of Allah and fear of Allah. And whatever you are doing, think about the method of what you are actually making ahead, because you're going to be held accountable. So for all high school students who are graduating this week, it is important for them as they set on their journey in college and beyond to really reflect deeply about what kind of field of study they want to engage in. Many high school students are undecided. They don't know what major they want to go into. And sometimes they're influenced by parents or siblings or friends, and sometimes by their school guidance counselors telling them to steer the way field. Now, this is probably the biggest decision in their lives. And before graduating from high school, everybody goes through the same kind of courses at school, the general educational program set by the state to learn English, mathematics, and science, and social studies, and so on. But once now they step into college, they are shaping their future. What they want to do the rest of their life. Are they going to pursue medicine, math, engineering, computer science, teaching, whatever the field is? Once they choose that, and they invest 4 years of college, or 6 or 8 or 10, they are set for the rest of their lives in that field. And it's going to find who they are. So it is critically important to take the time and ask yourself, does the field I'm choosing serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, serve the Muslims? If I go into a particular major, what is the outlook for the future? How am I serving Allah? How am I serving His deen? How am I serving and helping the Muslims? Right? And we can look at the majority of people who are pursuing college, and you find most of the decisions are made based on this criteria. Is this a field that serves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, serves the deen of Islam, serves the Muslims, help us get better? most of the decisions is based on money. Which field makes more money? Or which field my parents said I should go into? If my dad is in computer science, he exposed me to computer science, and then I go into computer science. It becomes generation. If my dad is a firefighter, then I'll be a firefighter. Many people end up like that. They don't make the decision based on serving and law and his deed. So we see there's shortage of several fields. For example, we have hardly any journalists. And journalism and media is critically important in reporting the story of Islam Muslims. We complain all the time that the media is unfair to us, it's biased, it is hiding the truth, it is promoting false stories. But when you look, you don't see mystery journalists on the TV screens, in the newsrooms, reporters on the ground. And that is critically important for us. So our story is being told by non-Muslims who don't have our best interests in their head. But very few people say, yeah, I want to study journalism, communication, media. We look at the industry of film and movies. And many people may think, oh, this is haram. I'm not going to go into the movies. And if you don't go into the movies, if non-Muslims go and make good, wholesome movies, then all the entertainment that Muslims consume worldwide, 2 billion of them, is made by Hollywood and Bollywood, and it is all corrupt type of movies. But how are we going to spread the message of Islam if we don't have good movies about the heroes of Islam? How would the people know who is Umar ibn Khattab, or Salman al-Farsi, or Salah al-Din, or all the great leaders, President Salah, Muhammad al-Fatih? If we don't make our story and say that the world know about it, we are consumers of terrible, corrupted types of movies that nobody really should watch. But this is an industry that has great shortage in it. There are few Muslim actors, but they are Muslims by name. They are not practicing Muslims. And that's not good. So we need good practicing Muslims to make real good stories, to promote the interests of Islam and Muslims, to promote the history of Islam, to promote the story of Islam. So instead of movies being made against us, to train Muslims as terrorists, as backward, as ignorant, we need to highlight all those stories all the way around. Now, I quote us in the Quran that he revealed surahs like Surah Al-Qasas, the stories. And when you read Surah Al-Qasas, you feel like you are in a real movie. It's not a fake story, but the real story of Musa and Fir'aun, story of good and evil, good versus evil, with the story that keeps repeating itself throughout the day. And there is the story of Musa and Fir'aun that Hollywood made, but they made it from the biblical perspective, Judeo-Christian perspective. And that's a lot of the real lessons that Allah teaches us in the Quran that we need to teach our children, the values of the deen. So that is an industry we need people in it. We need people in the legal profession involved. Because everything in this country in and around the world requires legal, advice, legal counsel. We need to know the laws and how to use the laws to get our rights. And however, we see that there is a great shortage of Muslim lawyers in this country and around the world. We see a high percentage of lawyers among other minorities. The Mormons, for example, have a high percentage. They are very small in number, but have a high percentage of lawyers because there is a need for them to defend their community. They were persecuted for a long time. The Jewish community the same thing. The Muslim community needs all kinds of lawyers in the different fields to defend the rights of Muslims and to also hold access. Many of the politicians in this country are lawyers, and they have to understand the law, have to craft the law, have to be legislators. And we see there is a correlation between the very small number of Muslims who are in Congress and the fact that there is a small number of lawyers in this country and Muslims are incapable of taking such steps. We need so many fields that in this country we have. Alhamdulillah, we have this doctors, we have abundance of healthcare professionals, and those are very important jobs too. I'm saying we shouldn't go into it. It is a very noble profession that serves humanity and saves lives, and it is great reward, in addition to making good income. But we need to have the whole spectrum. Not everybody can become a doctor or go to medical school. Not everybody can go to law school. Not everybody can go to these fields. So we need the variety. And we also see a huge concentration in the computer science and technology field. And Silicon Valley is full of Muslims. Tens of thousands of Muslims who are unemployed. These big technology companies like Google and Facebook and Microsoft and on, they use these young professionals, engineers and scientists, when they come out of college, they work them hard. And then after 10 years or so, they dump and bring a new group of young, hard-working graduates. And then these people are left with no jobs to support their families. They trap themselves in a field that is constantly changing fast. And working for companies that don't care about you, about the employee. They care about their background, so they can pay less for a younger graduate than a senior employee who needs benefits and healthcare information and so on. So we see there's outside too many computer engineers, computer scientists, technology individuals. These are very smart individuals. They could create their own company and compete with those big companies. But who is making the money are these companies. And these brothers and sisters, after their hard work and study, they are passed on for jobs. There are thousands of them unemployed. So we need to think ahead and say, is my major in college going to lead me to a job that will support me and my family, number one? Number two, is going to serve Allah, serve Islam, serve the Muslims? Is this something that is needed for the Muslims? Like journalism or like law? If you look at it and you find that this major that you're going to study is going to lead to these benefits, Bismillah, go for it. But if you feel, you're just doing the same thing, the same mistake that a generation before you made, and you end up unemployed, and you're not able to put yourself on fire, then change your direction. Make a plan right now as you exit high school and choose your major. And it's not too late for those of you who are still in college. Think about what the world needs. We need more Muslims in business to lead companies. We need more Muslims in finance to lead in banking and financial services. Because right now, there's not a single Muslim bank in this country. There's not a single, agent in this country in finances. We have deficits. And that all starts from the decision you individually make in high school, graduating from high school into college. So it's not too late for some college students to make adjustments and pursue a major that will serve these ultimate goals. Because I will ask you, why did you choose, some people choose major like music, acting. Okay, is that going to serve Islam in some way? Or are you going to be just used and bumped over these companies? Every field has a possibility of serving the good if you start with that intention. As we were saying, I said, matter the leader. All these are intentions. If your intention is to serve Allah and serve His deen and earn halal living, then go ahead. Keep that intention in mind. And now for the college students who are graduating and starting their careers, there are always choices where you can live and who will benefit from your talents and your training and your education. Unfortunately, we see in the last several months companies that openly support abortion, openly support, sending weapons to kill women and children. And we need to be, on one hand, people say, I will work for these big industrial companies that make pills and drug kits and missiles and tanks. But you have to ask yourself, are you participating in the killing of Muslims around the world? Because these are high-paying jobs for engineers, mechanical engineers, and aeronautical engineers. When they, electrical engineers, computer engineers, and they go to companies like Boeing and Lockheed and Northrop Grumman, and they're offering the education and talent and skills and ideas to companies that are going to use them to make what with them? Missiles and bombs and things that end up killing, as we have seen, thousands of women and children. So you have to ask yourself, is this a company you work for? There are many companies. Some companies just do civilian work. Mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, aerospace engineer, aeronautical engineer. You can go to companies that just focus on, they might be small, but their business is strictly civilian, and that's fine. But once it is involved in military conflict, and your side is coming down from the profits from what you send, then you have to ask yourself, is this going to provide? Am I benefiting because of the blood being served by Muslims in the world? Companies that make beans, for example, today it is obvious. Even college students have asked universities to invest in businesses and companies that are responsible for it. We need to make sure we're not working for those companies, supporting them and giving them profit and lending them our talents and our ideas, but they in turn take it and use it against us. So colleges and universities prepare you to become an engineer, to become a doctor, and then you have to ask yourself, which business I'm going to work with. Don't sell yourself cheap, and don't sell your services at crime and finance to someone who uses it against his own industries. There are no choices. Even if you have to go to other countries to work, go to the Muslim way, it's better than earning haram money that is from the blood money. After graduation, many people feel I've done enough. Now I'm supposed to be a graduate, and I've gotten my PhD or MD or master's, and they stop learning. Rasulullah said, طلب العلم من المهد إلى اللحد. Seeking knowledge from the cradle to the grave. You don't stop learning. Allah told Rasulullah in Surah Taha, وَقُلْ رَبِّ زِدْنِي عِلْمًا. So my Lord, increase me in knowledge. What kind of knowledge is that? The knowledge of the Deen. Unfortunately, so many Muslims are professionals. They have degrees in medicine, in law, in engineering, and so on. But they have very basic or no knowledge in Islam, in the Quran, in Aqidah, in Tafsir, in Surah, in Hadith, in Fiqh. And those are the required by all Muslims. Rasulullah said, طلب العلم فريضة على كل Muslim. Seeking this knowledge is an obligation on every Muslim. You can't come on the day and say, I don't know. Why don't you know? If you came to America and you learned a new language and you spent years in college and then spent years working, you spent all this effort. You have the capability of spending some time to learn the Deen, to learn the Quran. You are smart, you are intelligent, you learned a new language. Why can't you learn all the language? The language of the Quran and the Hadith and the Fiqh. There are millions of books in this language. The Islamic heritage is contained in the Arabic language, the language of Islam and the Quran. When the British Empire wanted to really divide the Ummah, they went after the Quran. They wanted to separate each of us from the Quran. How could they separate us from the Quran? In the writings of the ambassador of Great Britain to India 100 years ago, he said, I saw that the power of Muslims comes from their connection to the Quran. They all have the same one book. Unlike Christians having multiple Bibles, the Muslims have one Quran. And the Quran is in Arabic, and they all read it, understand it, and I recommend that we promote local dialects and languages and distance the Muslims from Arabic and from the language of the Quran. And once the Quran becomes foreign to them, they can't read it and understand it. In one generation, we now divide the Muslims into tribes again. This group here is speaking one language, that group is speaking another, and so on. And make the English language the global language, replacing the English language. So until really World War I, Arabic was the number one language for 1,000 years. A global language of science, technology, everything. Even Christians and Jews wrote all in Arabic. For example, the greatest Jewish scholar of all time, Musa bin Maymun, who they say the greatest person after Musa ibn Imran is Musa bin Maymun. All of his work is in Arabic. He studied the Islamic text and he wrote his work in Arabic. In Egypt. Influenced Judaism to the future. The works of the great Muslim philosophers are all in Arabic. And unfortunately, listeners are reading the works of non-Muslims and their philosophies and know nothing about Muslim history, Muslim philosophy, and Muslim Islamic knowledge. So, learning the language, just like someone learned English, they can learn Arabic. It's not impossible. There are over 400 million people who speak it, who write it, and use it every day. And you can too. If you learn English, it's actually easy to learn Arabic. And it's unfortunate that the Imam like we have to give the khutbah in English to Muslims. I should be speaking to you all in Arabic, my native language, and you all as Muslims should know the language of your Quran and your Hadith and understand it. But I guess the suggestion of that British ambassador was right. But today we all communicate globally in English. That's the default language for everyone. Instead of the language of the Quran. Like our scholars and ancestors did all. It didn't matter if they were in India or Pakistan, in China or Indonesia, in Morocco or Sudan, all writing their works in Arabic. And all these manuscripts that are buried in the basements in London and the universities like Oxford and other European capitals are all in Arabic. They actually store all of that heritage from us, and they separate us from the language and from the Quran. So we need to continue our education. After college, after we graduate, say it's enough. You learned the knowledge of the dunya to get a job and to earn money. Now you need to learn the knowledge of the deen. You need to learn the Quran. You need to memorize the Quran. You need to learn the Hadith of Rasulullah. You need to learn the fiqh, how to practice the deen. You need to learn the tafsir, how to understand the Quran. You need to learn the seerah, to know the life of people and so on. So much we don't know. And I see a lot of people who are PhDs and MDs and, Juris doctors and so on, but their knowledge in Islam is zero. And it's very unfortunate. There is a difference, there is barakah in the Islamic knowledge because it's practical in your life. You teach it to everyone around you. The knowledge of this dunya comes and goes. What you know today becomes obsolete in a few years from now, especially in technology. Many people, by the time they graduate from college in 4 years, what they learn is obsolete. They can't get a job because technology is moving at a very fast rate. With artificial intelligence now, everything is going faster than the students and the professors can keep up. Many of the professors can't themselves get a job out there because, and that's why they're teaching and getting lower salary because they can't keep up with the technology changes. I'm not saying we shouldn't study those fields. You should. And be in the first part of them. However, if you can study those fields, you need to study this field too. Have both. There's nothing wrong with being a doctor and a hafiz. Being a doctor and a graduate of Islamic studies, or engineer and hafiz, or lawyer and hafiz, and so on. You can have both. Deen and dunya. So, if you graduate from college, then now you have a lifetime to study Islamic studies and continue to study. So my Lord increase your knowledge. Don't stop learning. There's so much to know. And the more you know, the better you are. Allah said, قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. So do those who know equal those who don't know? إِنَّمَا يَتَذَكَّرُ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. In Surah Al-Zumar, Allah made classification that those who know are better. He said, يَرْفَعُ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ. Allah would elevate those among you who believe and have been given knowledge, many levels, many degrees above the rest. And Rasulullah said, مثل فضل العالم على العابد كفضل الشمس على الكواكب. So the preference of the alim over the abid, the person who prays a lot and fasts a lot and do the ibadah a lot, is like the sun's preference over all the planets. When the sun shines, you can't see anything else in the sky. It hides all the stars and the planets. And in the hadith, Rasulullah said, إِنَّ الْمَلَائِكَةَ لَتَضَعُ أَجْنِحَتَهَا لِطَالِبِ الْعِلْمِ رِضًا بِمَا يَصْنَعُ. That the angels would lower their wings for the person seeking knowledge of the deen, because they are pleased with what he is doing, what he is doing. So all of us, this is for the parents and grandparents, we always should know and learn more and more new. Don't stop learning. And that is the rest of our lives. We should seek knowledge, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would elevate you in Jannah based on how much you know and how much you put in practice of what you know. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا كما أمر، والصلاة والسلام على خير البشر نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Also, after young people graduate from college, it is important that they seek good jobs, as we said, which serve them, their families, and serve the Muslim community, and serve the Ummah. And they should also seek marriage. As Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, يَا مَعْشَرَ الشَّبَابِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ مِنْكُمُ الْبَاءَةَ فَلْيَتَزَوَّجْ. Like, for young people, whoever has the ability, he should get married. And now there's this new trend that we are observing in the Muslim community, where young graduates, they delay marriage to their bunk middle, and they wait beyond their 20s into their 30s, even 40s. And they feel like, I don't want this responsibility. That's not a choice. It's like you're avoiding to take the test that Allah has prepared. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ordered us in this hadith that you should find the good righteous spouse and get married. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he heard three men that came in front of his house. And one of them, after asking about his life and learning that a little bit, one of them said, I fast every day, and I don't break my fast. And the next one said, I pray all night long and I don't sleep. And the third, he said, I don't marry women because I want to be the community devoted to ibadah. So Rasulullah came out and said, I heard what you said, and I'm the best of you and closest to you among you to Allah. He said, but I fast some days and I break my fast other days. And he said, the most you can fast is like the fast of Prophet Dawood. One day you fast, one day you break your fast. But he, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, practiced the sunnah of fasting Mondays and Thursdays. And he discouraged us totally from fasting every day. Because your body needs the rejuvenation and the nutrition. And to the second one, he said, I get up at night and I pray. But I also sleep at night. Allah made the night for sleep. وَجَعَلَ اللَّيْلَ سُبَاتًا وَجَعَلَ النَّوْمَ سُبَاتًا. You have to sleep at night. Because if you don't sleep, you're going to go crazy. If you spend the night up, even in ibadah all the time, then you're going to sleep during the day. And that's not going to make up for this good sleep that you require, your body requires at night. So you have to balance. After Isha, you should go to sleep. Then get up before Fajr and do the Fajr and so on. Do not switch the night into the day and the day into the night. And third, he said to the third guy, and I marry women. And whoever doesn't follow my way is out of me. So, this idea of celibacy that comes from Christianity that was invented, وَرَهْبَانِيَّةً ابْتَدَعُوهَا مَا كَتَبْنَاهَا عَلَيْهِمْ. Allah said, the Christians, the Catholic Church, they invented this Rahbaniyya. That they said our priests don't marry. Our nuns don't marry. Right. If all of the prophets they got married, if all of the prophets get married and not just one woman but multiple women, and they had children. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَى رُسُلٍ مِّن قَبْلِكَ وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُمْ أَزْوَاجًا وَذُرِّيَّةً. We sent the prophets before you, messengers before you, and we made them, have wives and offspring. So the Christian is thinking, I'm so devoted to Allah that I don't get married. If that was the best religious idea, then humanity will end in one generation. If somebody gets married, right? No more children, end of humanity. That's a disastrous idea. And Rasulullah here, he rebuked this man and said, and I marry women. And he said, I'm married non women. And he said, وَمَنْ رَغِبَ عَنْ سُنَّتِي فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي. If someone doesn't want to follow my way, is not of me. And that's important. So this trend that I'm observing, and we're observing in the community, that younger people graduating college have no excuse. They finish college, and then what? I still don't want to marry. I'm not finding the right person. Who's the right person? What is the definition of a right person? You have long list of conditions that you go into 30s and 40s of your age and don't marry. Then you become celibate, become a monk. No. Part of life's task is to get married, to have children, to build a family, to strengthen. Rasulullah said, تزوجوا الودود الولود فإني مكافر بكم الأمم. Said, marry the women who are loving and who have children so that we have the largest ummah. And today, we also see a trend. Some people say, I don't want to know because I can satisfy my sexual need without marriage. That's totally wrong. That's zina. That's forbidden in the Quran. The only way to satisfy your body need and sexual need is through nikah, through halal nikah. And that is a trend. We see boyfriends and girlfriends, and we see in all kinds of studies, let alone that homosexuality. We have to make sure that as soon as you exit college, you should really prepare to get married and have a family and start a family. The longer you delay, the less likely you're going to find a good person and will get married and have a family. And we are seeing this big age group that is in that category. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them. So this is something, people fear. They say, oh, if I have kids, how am I going to support them? How am I going to pay for their college? How? Leave that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الرَّزَّاقُ ذُو الْقُوَّةِ الْمَتِينُ. Allah, نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُكُمْ وَإِيَّاهُمْ. We supply you, we sustain you and them. When Allah gives you a child, Allah will bring the risk of that child with you. When Allah gives you a wife, Allah will send the risk with her to you. The Sahaba, if you find someone who is single and he's poor, say, go get married, so Allah will bring the risk to your life to you. And we need not to worry about the future. Allah who created all of us and sustains us, will sustain the children when they come, and will help them get to college and pay for it. And that also relates to people. Some young people today will get married and say, I'm going to get married, I have no children. I won't have this one, I just want one child. Yeah. And those things are in preventive, ways to prevent pregnancy this way. Because you have to, Allah is going to give you a child or children to test you with them, to see how you're going to raise them as Muslims. Your responsibility is not just towards yourself, but towards your spouse and towards your children. Every stage in life has that. So, we pray that college students, graduates, the same, seek Muslim ladies and marry the halal and continue this trend. We need to break this trend. We should not imitate the non-Muslims. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam warned us against that. He said that تَتَّبِعُنَّ سَنَنَ مَنْ قَبْلِكُمْ حَذْوَ الْقُدْوَةِ بِالْقُدْوَةِ حَتَّى إِذَا ضَبٍّ لِدَخَلْتُمُوهُ قالوا من يا رسول الله؟ اليهود والنصارى قال فمن؟ He said, you will follow the steps of the people before you, step by step. And even if they enter a hole in the ground for a lizard, you enter behind them. They said, who? The Jews and the Christians said, yes. And this is what is happening here. As a minority being influenced by their cultural practices instead of influencing them. Many Muslims will say, oh, I'm a small family. I'm going to have a dog and a cat with no children. SubhanAllah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all the graduates and their families. We congratulate them on their achievements. We want to congratulate, we have on Wednesday the several hundred students in Madrasa Rahmaniya who graduated this year, completed another year, learning Quran, Hadith, and Dua, and Salat, and all of it. We bless them in their families. On Thursday we had over 120 systems who are engaged in the Hifz program, Quran Hifz programs. They held the Masjid of Masjid Rahman yesterday, and these are sisters who are competing to memorize the Quran. And we bless them and congratulations. And this morning we have the elementary middle school graduation at Leaders Preparatory School, and tomorrow, inshallah, the high school graduation at Leaders Preparatory School. And Sunday we have graduation of the Quran Hifz students, both Madrasa al-Rahman Hifz al-Quran, with the leadership of Imam Noor, has dozens of Hifz students who are completing this year and graduating. May Allah accept from them and increase the number of Hifaz around the community. So congratulations to everyone, to their families on this blessed time.